walked in the door, Jerry. So, I mean, your timing is impeccable. As we know, if you've listened to this show, you know Jerry's timing is impeccable. We were not the only ones who walked away with awards.
That's true.
Our station won an award. KKOB won Station of the Year. Yep. And I did not realize that you win Station of the Year if you win the most awards.
Yes.
And I thought, well, that's kind of nice. Yes. And so that tells you we won a lot of awards. These are the New Mexico Broadcasting Association Awards.
Yes.
The NMBAs.
Yes.
Lovely pieces of hardware, too, I got to say.
In Albuquerque.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we also went for breaking news. I mean, bless her heart, Natasha Leber, right on that. And Bob Clark, of course, on the air. Brandon Vogt. Sean Michael Lyle back here in the studio, and Dale Cornelius sort of like herding cats, like you do on this show. Continuing coverage. That was at the Trump rally. Again, Natasha Leba, our shining star, out there herding cats. There's a lot of cat herding that goes on here. And all of the folks who were on the air. Natasha also won for best feature in news. And Mike Gaba, the newscaster of the year. Mike Gaba.
Man, we're all just winners here.
We are.
And you know who else are winners? You, the listener.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
You're welcome, Albuquerque.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed you are. Yeah. So it was a lovely afternoon/evening, and we got our awards, and everybody was smiling when they left. I think that might have been the margaritas, but
just a little bit.
I'm just spitballing here. I was drinking water and I was smiling. So you know. I don't think they put anything weird in my water. Not that I know of.
So, good news, by the way, too.
Yes.
If anybody wanted to watch us live stream, we've got a lovely picture of live down on Civic Plaza from our 5th floor perch.
We can check out what's going on down there.
So we can check out. Just go to YouTube. So
the
YouTube and the KKOB live stream. You probably want to search YouTube for The Weekend with Terry Travis. That's probably the easiest way to find
the award winning.
Yes. Or you know what? You could listen on your radio.
You know, I find that to be the easiest way.
Or you could live stream it by
school.
saying, "Hey Alexa,
find this for me, please. Alexa, find The Weekend with Terry Travis." Thank you. You can use any little voice you want.
Never mind, Siri, you can go back to sleep.
Okay.
Thanks.
Night night.
Yeah.
Night night.
Okay. Yes. Oh.
Yes.
What's night? Did I miss a cue here?
I don't think you missed a cue. I thought you had something you wanted to talk about.
I did. Well, You mean the paper that I prepped that I've got back here in my backpack? You wanted me to talk about the AI? That here with you?
Only if you want to. I mean, I got lots of other stuff here that
we did have the pre-show meeting, and maybe I should have taken notes here, but yes. Humans.
I just say la boo boo to you.
It's humans triumph over AI at an annual math Olympiad.
See, we are the champions once again.
Yes, it was Sydney. I mean, well, you know.
I think they're champions,
but it was
also
the international. So the good news is that the generative AI models made by Google and OpenAI got gold medal status, but it still wasn't good enough to beat human kiddos.
And who are these human kiddos?
We had 5. Well, I don't have their names.
Well, that's okay.
Here.
You don't have to tell me their names.
Off the top of my head.
Give me a little information about them.
Well, DeepMind from Google reached a much desired milestone, and I'm jumping ahead. About 10% of human contestants also won the gold level status. The AI won gold level.
Okay.
But not all the humans won, but 5 of them actually beat the markers that the Chat GPT.
How did they do that?
Because they did some math questions. And they did math themselves. So there's
were these story problems? Because if they are, I have got so much respect.
It's not a story problem, but it's high level math.
I got so much respect.
And so they had a 4.5-hour time limit. But the caveat is that Google, all the AI chatbots, they got extra time.
Why did they get extra time?
Because they needed extra time to code in.
I'm rolling my eyes. Can you hear that?
To code in the questions.
Can you hear the eye rolling? So, they needed extra time. The computer needed extra time.
Which is better than last year when the AI chatbots didn't do as well as the humans by considerable amount, didn't hit gold level status, and they had a full 24 hours to figure out the question.
When you were telling me this, and you were telling me that this group of students in Australia, correct? Australia?
Yes.
Basically beat AI on these math questions. I'm like, AI does not know everything.
It doesn't.
We seem to think, I mean, maybe it's great if you're like trying to compose a letter to, I don't know, your employer or something. They can maybe come up with some nice flowery language. But, in fact, last week on this very show, we were talking about my favorite Mariner these days, Cal Raleigh, who, by the way, his name isn't really Calvin. It's Caleb.
It's Caleb.
Caleb.
Okay. You want this here?
He is Cal Raleigh. He is the big dumper. That's right. Dropping from the big dumper. Yep. Anyway, the big AI told me that he had twins.
He had twins.
And he was married.
Oh.
He's not married.
He's not married.
Well, and when I read that,
but he's got twins?
No. He doesn't have twins.
Oh.
AI told me he had twins. And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. And they said his wife had twins in June. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know he was married.
Huh.
And so I passed all of this information on to our listeners as if I knew what I was talking about, as if AI knew what it was talking about. AI didn't know what it was talking about.
What was
He's not married.
About?
He has a lovely girlfriend. And she seems to be very nice. They did not have twins. No, what happened in June is the Mariners played the Twins.
Oh.
And AI got that mixed up.
And the Twins won, or
it doesn't matter whether the twins won or lost. They got mixed up. No, there's a difference between playing the Twins and having twins.
I see.
We'll explain that to AI. Again, another sports related AI thing. Yesterday, I was watching girls softball. There was a team playing. They were the Bulldogs, and they were from Oregon. And I said, I wonder what city they are representing, because it was, the regional championships to go on to the finals in, I believe, Oklahoma. And so I'm Googling it. I'm trying to figure it out. And my AI thing is coming on, and it's telling me, oh no, they must be from Oregon State, because even though they're the Oregon State Beavers, their nickname is the Bulldogs. And I'm like,
Beavers, Bulldogs?
That's bull something. I don't think that's
bull
true.
Hockey.
I lived there for a while. I have not yet called my friend who calls all the action for the women's teams at Oregon State, Mr. Ron Callan. But I'm sure Ron would set me straight and say, no, the Bulldogs, that's Gonzaga. They're the Bulldogs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's not Oregon State. So you know what? AI just doesn't know everything, at least not yet.
Yes.
I think we ought to be grateful for that.
And skeptical of all things that you read on the internet.
Yeah, because you know what? They aren't necessarily true. AI doesn't know everything.
Yes, but are they said with authority?
Because if you say with authority, that's what I learned.
That must make it true.
Indeed. Coming up, we're going to talk about your back-to-school budget and how you can shop tax-free this weekend. Back-to-school events in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho to tell you about, too. And speaking of Rio Rancho, we're going to look at the ripple effect from this week's layoffs, the announcements at Intel. And we'll chat with the executive director of the City of Vision's Chamber of Commerce. Also update you on the closure of the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science. It is coming up quick. And the most dangerous spot to be a pedestrian in New Mexico. How to keep your personal information safe online. And the accessory you never want to leave home without when you're out with your pooch. But next, yes, that is lavender you smell. And we'll tell you where you can get your fill next as the weekend continues. 96.3 News Radio, KKOB. And a very good morning to you. I'm Terry Travis, Jerry Wright on the other side of the glass, pressing the buttons, making the lavender bloom.
Yes.
Oh, the 18th annual Lavender in the Village Festival is not in the village this year. No, no, no. Do not go there. It has moved from Los Ranchos to Balloon Fiesta Park, and it's today. Indeed. Executive Director of the Rio Grande Community Farm, Jamie Wells, says it's going to be a real relief to stretch out and make room for the more than 120 vendors who are going to show up today. Every lavender infused product you can imagine is going to be there. Lots of food. Have you ever had any lavender infused product?
I have. And if you have anything French with herbe de Provence, it has a little bit of lavender.
Oh, just a smidge, just a
just
touch.
a little bit.
I had some
A
lavender.
little goes a long way.
Yes, indeed it does. And because it's like you have the smell of lavender in your nose, kind of, while you're tasting at the same time. It's a sort of a weird juxtaposition.
It's a lavender lemon on a bundt cake.
Oh,
it was a lavender lemon drizzle.
Yeah, I like
frosting.
that idea. I had some lavender infused fudge that was pretty good, and I had a lavender latte that was interesting.
Trying to think, dark chocolate, light chocolate, milk chocolate on the brownie.
It was pretty dark. It was pretty dark fudge.
So it was dark fudge. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was, I mean, the lavender held up well, but with the coffee, it was kind of different. Anyway, if you want to find out more about it, you can make your own determination. Lavender.riograndefarm.org. And the biggest back to school bash in the city coming up today. Free backpacks full of supplies, haircuts, and manicures. There's going to be a rock climbing wall. And back by popular demand, from last year is the foam party. I want to swim in it too. It sounds like so much fun. Selena Trujillo with the Jump Into School Bash says to keep things simple, waivers can be just filled out at the event. Very easy. All parents and kids have to do basically is show up. Runs from noon to 4. It's at the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Posse Building today. Today also a special day for cowboys and those who love the Western way of life. No, it certainly isn't. President of the New Mexico chapter of the International Western Music Association, Judy Anderson, says it's a full day of Western music. There's cowboy poetry, readings by local authors. I have gone. It's a lot of fun. It really is. The event's from 10 to 5 at the Best Western Wild Avocado. The avocado burgers are really good there, by the way, too. Just a little tip. More information available at westernmusicnm.com. They don't mention the avocado burger at that website, but just so you knows. I like people to be informed. Tonight, I get to go to the only home game for the Albuquerque Roller Derby over at Expo New Mexico at the Manuel Lujan building. It is going to be so much fun. ABQRD versus the world. It will keep you entertained.
In a world.
Don't take my world word for it. How about taking blocker Lisa Catnip Carnage McKittrick's word for it? And that's how I got my husband interested in going with me, because I said, I don't think you're going to be bored, honey. I doubt you're going to be bored. Doors open up at 5, first whistle at 6. I guess that's how they start the whole match. And there's food, beverages, even a bounce house for the kids. No foam, sorry, but there is a bounce house. I was teasing my husband. I said, we can't go in the bounce house. And he looked at me like, why would I want to do that? And I'm like, come on, a little sense of humor here. Gotta have a little sense of humor. There were also some things I put into my calendar that disappeared this morning. Jerry's my hero. He found accoutrement for me. He found accessories so that I could
little plug-in
a little
adapter.
dongle so I could do my job. Yeah, I had a lot of other things I wanted to talk. The one thing off the top of my head I can remember, because I like to give folks a couple of ideas if they want to take maybe a little weekend road trip. You know, you want to go somewhere during the day and maybe stay the night, maybe not, maybe drive back. Up at Valles Caldera, this weekend, they have a big celebration.
Really?
And yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. If you go online, Google Valles Caldera, and I'm sure it'll all pop up. It started yesterday, runs through Sunday. I know they've got some different interpretive sorts of walks you can take with rangers so they can explain the geology up there, which is fascinating. I mean, just it sounds like a really fun weekend. And if I wasn't going to roller derby tonight, I'd be up there. If I wasn't here, of course, I'd be up there.
It's probably some of the most beautiful country in New Mexico.
Absolutely.
And in the Western U.S.
Absolutely. And I know up at Angel Fire, they have something going on this weekend, but I don't have it in front of me, so I can't tell you what it is.
Oh.
But any excuse to go to Angel Fire is a good one. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, just go up there and have fun.
Yeah.
I know there's something going on up there.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful drive. Talk about beautiful drives. The Enchanted Circle. Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's some of the most beautiful country in New Mexico.
You
know where else is beautiful?
In God's green earth.
Most of New Mexico.
Exactly. Thank you very much. I couldn't agree with you more. All right. So there you go. Sort of your, if you want to take a trip.
What's going on?
We're not giving you a whole lot of details. Just Google it. But don't trust AI.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you somebody has twins when they don't.
When they played the twins.
They played the twins.
Hey,
There's a
played
big
with
difference.
His twins.
We'll leave that right there. Coming up, a boost for your back to school budget. We'll talk about that next as the weekend continues on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Carry to Truth or Consequences. This is 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Well, back to school shopping dollars spent this weekend are going to go a lot further. The annual gross receipts tax holiday, and if you have kids, this could save you a bunch. Plus, I like this holiday. You don't have to make anything special. You don't have to wear anything special. Just go out and shop. Joining us to talk about it, Cabinet Secretary for Taxation and Revenue here in the great state of New Mexico, Stephanie Chardon Clark. Good morning, Madam Secretary.
Hi, good morning, Terry.
Good to have you along this morning. And you got up early, too. We appreciate that.
You're welcome. I'm happy to do it.
I think this is one of the coolest holiday weekends on the calendar, especially for people who really do like to find a bargain. And like I said, I don't have to cook anything special either. So what exactly is this tax holiday?
Yeah, so for about 20 years, New Mexico has had on the books the back to school gross receipts tax or sales tax holiday. And basically for a weekend before school starts, which is this weekend in New Mexico this year, participating retailers can sell school supplies, clothing, certain electronics. They don't have to charge customer GRT. That's the beauty of it. And then they just deduct those receipts, so no GRT is due. So depending on where you are in the state, that could be savings of between, say, 5 and 10%.
And it's not bad. And I know a lot of retailers, too, maybe have some things already marked down a bit just to get folks to come in so you really can find yourself some good deals.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the holiday is early this year, and I am assuming it's because school's starting early this year. You kind of looked at the calendar and said, hey, we need to, like bump it into July.
Yeah, it was even more arduous than that. But yes, the tax department every couple of years puts forward to the legislature cleanup legislation to change the state's tax code. And in the last year, we did a bill. It was over 400 pages long of cleanup. And in that, we asked them, and they approved, to move it from the first weekend in August to the last weekend of July, because we started noticing that as school districts are moving their start date earlier, there were some pretty large districts in the state, including Albuquerque, the biggest district, where the holiday was taking place after school started, which kind of defeats the purpose.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that there would be paperwork at your end that you would have to figure out. I mean, the rest of us, we're just waiting to know when school starts and then when we can go and, do our back to school shopping.
Right.
So this depends on the retailer as well, correct? Although I think a lot of them are participating.
I think so too. I think last year we looked at it and we had over 200 retailers statewide that participated. I think every year that number tends to team upward because word gets out and more people are excited about this. So if there's any doubt and you're thinking of going shopping and want to make sure, you could call your retailer in advance. They probably not like me for saying that, but you could call ahead and make sure they're participating before you go.
Got it. So, and does this go for online shopping as well?
It could, although again, that depends on the retailer.
Mm-hmm.
And I would kind of think that the brick and mortar retailers here in the state are most likely to know about this. Some of those online platforms that are very large, they can participate, but whether they've taken the time to program their IT systems to do this and everything is kind of a different question.
Well, yeah. And I mean, for a major retailer, say, I don't know, Target, Amazon, something online, it might be hard to keep up with all 50 states because I'm sure other states do this as well. On the other hand, don't they have, doesn't somebody program a computer to do that?
Yeah, theoretically, I think if let's say I think you mentioned Target. Mm-hmm. If Target's doing this on the ground, they might as well do it online. So I wouldn't be surprised if they participate. I just, I'm not in charge of deciding who does.
Well, now we ought to put you in charge of that because you don't have anything else to do.
Thanks, Terry.
You're so welcome. I'm searching for things. I'm searching. Let's talk about what's on the list because I mean there are specific things and there are dollar item limits that have to be reached. So tell us what's on this list.
Absolutely. There's about 3 or 4 kind of big buckets of things that qualify for this. clothing and footwear, but each item has to be less than $100. So if you're looking for back to school uniforms or clothing or shoes, there's a few things that are excluded, like accessories, like jewelry and purses and wallets and luggage, things like that are excluded. But if you're buying clothing for less than $100 per item, that would be included. The next item are electronics. So if a desktop computer, laptop, or notebook is less than $1,000, then that would be eligible. And then there's all the little peripheral things that you plug into a computer, like the monitor, the speakers, the printer, keyboard, microphones, and mice. Those all qualify as well if they're less than $500. And then last are just the regular school supplies, like all the paper and pencils and pens and markers and crayons. All of that stuff also is eligible.
I was looking through, what's going to be popular for back to school this year, because when I saw the clothing items, each have to be less than $100 per unit. I'm like, good heavens, is it that expensive? Yes, there's some stuff that's that expensive. I mean, there's some special Adidas shoes that all the kids are wearing that are, like $80, and I'm like, their feet grow so fast. How could you spend $80 on a pair of shoes? But anyway, the other thing that I found, and I don't know if you've heard of these, I just learned about them. The Labubu dolls, which are the little charms you can hang on your backpack. Those,
I have just recently become aware of these, and I'm kind of hoping my kids do not find out.
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret from them. I promise, Stephanie.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Those things are expensive too. I mean, on the, online they can go for a lot, but I mean, just for a little charm, it's $30. So I guess the take home message is all of these different things that fall under the gross receipts tax holiday, the savings really add up, especially if somebody's got Labubu dolls on their list. I guess you can get them for $30, starting out. So there you go.
I'm not sure which category they're in, but they are under $100, I hope.
They are under $100. Of course, unless you go on the alternative market online, and then you can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars and get in fights with your family and friends over Labubu dolls, which we don't need to go into here, unless you want to.
I guess I shouldn't talk. I'm from the Cabbage Patch Kids generation.
And you can hang those from your backpack, right?
Sure.
Hey, if folks want to get more information about just, what's going on with this particular tax weekend, if the item they're thinking about falls under that, if they can use a gift card, there's a lot of questions people can have. Is there sort of a one place you can go and get all these questions answered?
Yeah, absolutely. We our main website is tax.newmexico.gov. On there, we have a press release about this under our news and alerts tab. And on there, there's links to our full FYI list of all the information. I want to say also that, there are some retailers that just choose to include other items that aren't deductible from the state, that they just choose to absorb the GRT on those items. So, if you go out today, you might find GRT savings on other things.
That's kind of cool too. And that's the other thing I was wondering about. I mean, how do they know if you're just shopping for supplies for your kid for school? I mean, you could be, stocking up on supplies for the home office. I'm thinking teachers could do a little stocking up too. So it doesn't necessarily have to be for a student, right?
Absolutely. It's the items that are eligible. So if you own a business or have other needs or if you just want to go shopping, there's no check that this is for a school-age child. It's just that the items are eligible.
And is there a limit to how much you can buy?
No, there is not. Just items are limited per item.
And just think of how many times limits are set on us. And this weekend, no limits. You go ahead, just go spend money.
Go wild. Go wild.
One more time, how can people get more information if they need it?
I would recommend going to tax.newmexico.gov and look under our news and alerts tab. We'll have a press release there about this that just came out a couple days ago, and all the links that you might need are in that press release.
Cool. Anything else shaking over there that we ought to let folks know about?
There's one kind of exciting thing, if you're familiar with New Mexico's child tax credit, this is an incredible tool it's been on the books for about 2 years in New Mexico. And it's greatly reducing child poverty in New Mexico. It's a refundable tax credit of up to $600 per child. And we're delivering about $130 million of tax relief that's targeted just towards families with children, especially those that are lower income. So the tax department looked after the 2024 filing season, and we found that we think about 31,000 New Mexico families were eligible but didn't claim that credit. And they are due altogether, those 31,000 families are due about $14 million more tax relief than they received because they didn't claim it. So we're getting ready to send about 31,000 letters out in the next couple weeks. So if your listeners are out there and you receive one of those letters, it is real. I know there are a lot of scams, but it's a notice that a tax refund may be available to you. And if you're already thinking to yourself, I think I'm in that boat. I have a child and I didn't claim that credit. What you need to do is amend your 2023 or 2024 tax return to claim that credit. And we will send you the refund.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. And I mean, I like the fact that you're sort of full service there at taxation and revenue. It's not just taking money away from us, it's giving money back sometimes too.
Yeah. I mean, certainly getting the money is a big part of our job. There's no getting around that. But it's also our job to make sure that this intended tax relief gets out to New Mexicans as much as possible. So we feel good about this letter campaign and are excited to do it and hope we see a lot of amended returns to claim that money.
Yeah. And there's information about that, I'm assuming, there too on the website.
There will be. We're going to be mailing those letters within the next 2 weeks and we'll have a press release go out when they're hitting the mail.
Awesome. Boy, anything else we should pass along to folks?
I think I've taken enough of your time.
Oh, we love talking to you. Cabinet Secretary for Taxation and Revenue, Stephanie Chardon Clark. Always a pleasure. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Terry.
You bet. Coming up, speaking of back to school, where you can pick up a backpack, school supplies, and learn about resources in the community. Next, as the weekend continues on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB. Well, if you didn't know it, the kids are going back to school, and we want to send them into school with a big push and some fun. Next Saturday at 2 community centers in Albuquerque, you can cruise into the school year and get ready to have a great start to back to school. Dominic Saavedra, the center supervisor for the Westgate Community Center, joining us this morning. And Dominic, it sounds like you've got around 2,000 backpacks looking for good homes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we have about 2,000 backpacks secured right now for the event, and thousands of more school supplies also as well.
Well, we've just been taking a look at how expensive all of these things are this year, and holy smokes, you're doing a valuable public service for parents because things have gotten expensive.
Yeah, and that's definitely the idea. This is our 8th annual Cruising into the School Year event that's been hosted by the City of Albuquerque and the Youth and Family Services Division. And it is exactly to do just that. It is to ease the burden, the financial burden for some of our families on both ends of the city, to just try to make life a little bit easier for kids to go back to school.
Now, have you always had it at 2 locations?
No, so the event is kind of transformed over the years. We're trying to make it easier for families. And so that's the reason we have the 2 different locations. We want a centralized location on the west side of the city, which is the West Mesa, the West Mesa Community Center, and then another community center on the east side, which is the Cesar Chavez Community Center.
And how can folks get involved with this? Do you just show up? Do you need to pre-register? It looks like maybe pre-registration just opened up this week.
Yes, pre-registration is open right now. We ask that families do pre-register. The pre-registration is actually available on the website, cabq.gov/cruising with a Z. Mm-hmm. And you can find everything there. You can find the addresses, the times, the dates. You can register for whichever location you're going to be attending. You can even find the link to help donate for those people out there that still want to donate to this event.
Oh, that's a great event. Do you need any volunteers for either of these events?
You know, we're always looking for volunteers, and we do have it open right now at our volunteer page on the city's website. Mm-hmm. So, you know, if anybody's still looking to do that, they can reach out to us on that site.
Any back to school event, there's always so much excitement. Kids, even if they really, really don't want to go back to school, they still get pretty excited about new school supplies and that sort of thing. I mean, it's a fun time of year, and what a great way to capture all of it. And I'm told that at least for both of these events, it isn't just about backpacks. You're kind of catching the fun as well.
Yeah, that's again, part of the fun of it is going actually shopping for these supplies. So
yeah.
Every child that's pre-registered will get a backpack. And then what we've done over the last 2 years is we've created a little bit of a supply store, in which kids can walk through the different areas and pick out the different supplies that they need specifically. Because we know every school's different, every child's different, every grade level is different. So they might not all need the same materials. So it's just a fun opportunity to give them that back to school shopping experience as well.
Yeah. And getting everybody all together too, and sort of, I don't know, there's something about all of that enthusiasm in one room. It sort of ripples out.
Yeah. Again, and it's all to help get the excitement back for these kids to, start the school year off on the right foot.
So we talked about the pre-registration, and it's online if you plan to go, and there's a ticket system, and each child has to be present to get whatever it is that is being given away at either of these 2 community centers.
Yes, we ask that regardless of which center you attend, we ask that the child be present, and that it's one registration ticket per child. And I think that's kind of the biggest things. We want to service all children from preschool to high school, but we just ask that the children be at the facility.
Well, and that makes sense. And, it's going to be a fun event anyway. I mean, you've got food trucks there, you've got resources there too, and things maybe you can talk with the adults about. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, so some other things that we're offering right now, because again, it's about a community event. So a lot of our different sponsors have come together to put things to give resources. So we have everything from haircut vouchers that are going to be provided from a Better You Academy. We have, depending on which location, we have bake sales from different schools that are local to those communities, or food trucks that are going to be giving proceeds to schools within that community. We have vaccinations at least one of our sites right now. We'll have different resources. Coyote Gravel is going to be giving out additional backpack, school supplies, and even some shoe vouchers. We'll have local lowrider car clubs. Down Low Car Club will be at our West Mesa Community Center, and then our Cesar Chavez Community Center will have lowrider bikes that will be provided by the Duke City Lowrider Bike Club, which are lowrider bikes that were they were built by high school students in the local schools.
And they are so cool, the lowrider bikes. Gotta love them. Gotta love them. Hey, Dominic, once again, where is the best place to go online to get all of this information? You can pre-register and find out which, maybe, kind of figure out which community center you want to go to.
Exactly. So again, that website is cabq.gov/cruising with a Z.
/cruising with a Z. I think we can manage that. Dominic, it sounds like you are going to have a great time next Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be great, and we hope to see all of the families out there.
Indeed. Dominic Saavedra, he is the center supervisor for the Westgate Community Center. You want to find out more about what they've got cooking, cabq.gov/cruising with a Z. Coming up, what the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science plans to bring us from their summer vacation. They're going to be taking off soon for a very good reason. We're going to talk about it next as the weekend continues here on 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
music intro. Boy, was that nostalgic. But yes, we are getting ready to close. The last day open to the public will be August the 3rd. We're planning a whole series of activities to make the day fun for people to come on in and see the museum, the old museum, one more time before we shut down and renovate and present a newer museum come the spring.
Yeah. And I mean, what has it been like getting ready for this project? I know at my house, if we're doing anything, it's like the getting ready part, it seems like takes just as long as the doing it.
Oh, absolutely. Because the doing it will work only if you do all the preparation.
Yeah.
You know, it's something where it was, excuse me, we noticed, our facilities team noticed that we were having issues with our sewer line. And that's really what started it. And then we went through various sets of plans to try to figure out how do we replace a sewer line that runs right through the heart of our building, the public part of the building, and not impact our visitation. So we ran through a number of models, and it was clear the best way for the visitor experience, financially, the whole picture was to do a shutdown. And then we started looking at, we knew that our skylights were aging out, and we probably would have to replace those in a couple of years. And well, why don't we do that now? If we're going to shut down, let's take care of the roof and the plumbing. And then we've also been talking about modernizing our lobby area so that people, there's a fair amount of wayfinding confusion, if you will, especially when we're busy, when people first walk in our doors. So when we reopen, that will be the first thing people notice, is a bright, airy, open lobby where people will know exactly where to go. We'll have better wayfinding, and we'll set a really proper visitor experience for when people come back and visit us in the spring.
So it sounds like the things that are going to be changing are not necessarily things that people count on to not change. Like, I don't know, the dinosaur skeletons in Jurassic Hall. They don't want those to change.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's true. When word got out that we were going to go through a closure and things were going to be renovated, it was interesting for social media learning what people's favorite exhibits are, the things that, oh, please don't touch this or don't touch that. And so in some of our messaging, we have assured people that there are things that won't change, among them being, it seems like it's a crowd favorite. Kids back in the 80s and 90s who visited and used the Evelator are now bringing their kids to the museum. And the Evelator has this nostalgic family memory. So that's staying. Our volcano exhibit, our cave exhibit, and of course, as you mentioned, Jurassic Hall with the giant dinosaur skeletons. I mean, that's eye candy. The kids go in there, the public, kids of all ages go in there and just smile and point. But there will be some changes in that hall. We're going to modernize some of the messaging, the content there, because science is a process, and there are things we now know that we didn't know when that hall was put together. But the skeletons and that beautiful mural will be there when people come back.
Among the changes, I read the interview that you did with the Santa Fe New Mexican, and as it turns out, some of those dinos don't have proper titles.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. That one's, what we're going to do is take the opportunity. I am a trained paleontologist, so what we're talking about is near and dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody names an animal, and in this case, the iconic Seismosaurus, the public will ask, why are we changing the name? Well, naming an animal is a hypothesis, and science is all about testing hypotheses. And in the 1980s, when Seismosaurus was found, it seemed like a valid thing to do, to set up the hypothesis that this was a new animal. Well, now it's 40 years later. People have collected many more sauropod dinosaurs. That's the kind of dinosaur that we're talking about. And it turns out that there were, I wouldn't necessarily say mistakes made, but we know more about the animal that's on display at our museum. And it turns out that what it is, and it's just as fascinating, that it's a very large specimen of an animal that we've known since the 19th century called the Diplodocus.
I love the idea that I didn't even think of it this way, that the names that you tag these dinosaurs with is a hypothesis. I just thought, well, you guys just know everything and they've got names already. I don't know, somewhere in a big name book. It's like how they name pills. Who knows how they do all of that? But I love the way that you were showing the public the scientific method. I mean, it's alive and well and living in a renovation at the museum.
Yes, I mean, I think it's an important opportunity. It'll be a little subtle for some people who expect a brand new hall like our beautiful hall we opened in February, the Bradbury STEM Construction Ancient Life Hall, which was completely new. The public hadn't seen anything like this. If you're expecting to walk into Jurassic and see something equally new, you won't, but the content will be fabulous because we're driven by the fact that, in general, the public distrusts the scientific method or opinion, and they don't understand it. And it's really on us as scientists to better explain why we say what we say, so that when we say something different, the public understands why the position has changed. And I think that's really an exciting opportunity for us to present something dynamic in a hall that talks about hundreds of millions year old animals.
Yeah. Well, and it's important to note that it's a process. It's a scientific process. It's not a destination.
That's right. We don't just buy these things at the local department store. It's things, as you said, it's a journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for inviting us along on the journey. We're up against a break, but coming up, I know the museum's going to be closing for 7 months. Certainly not going away, though. After the break, we'll talk about that with our guest, Executive Director of the New Mexico Museum of Natural History and Science, Dr. Anthony Fiorello, as the weekend continues here on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Tired of Googling your symptoms? Now you can talk to a real doctor live. Presbyterian Healthcare Services and News Radio KKOB present The Doctor Is In with Dr. Greg Shore, starting Saturday, June 14th at 1 p.m. He's sharp, he's local, and yes, he's taking your calls. Join Dr. Shore alongside leading physicians from across New Mexico. Straight talk, real doctors, expert answers with Dr. Greg Shore.
Precision Door, a name you can trust.
Hey, it's Steph from Magic 99.5. When you look at your garage door, do you like what you see? Or does it make your home look bad? Precision Garage Doors can change that with a brand new door. You can even design your own to match your home style before you call them. Find the garage door designer at GarageDoorsAlbuquerque.com. Make the right decision. Call Precision.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
There's gotta be another option.
You've been looking for assisted living for your mom for weeks.
I've seen the exercise rooms and cafeterias. Mom doesn't need all that. She just needs to be safe and get some personal attention.
That's Haven Care. Haven Care has 6 residential homes in quiet neighborhoods, beautifully renovated for seniors struggling with memory loss. There's just 6 residents per home with longtime caregivers who become like family. Schedule a tour at havencarenm.com. Haven Care. No frills, just tender, compassionate care.
Consistently beating industry benchmarks by over 25% isn't a fluke. It's Cumulus Digital. Smarter marketing with proof. We show you exactly who saw your ad by name and address. That kind of precision is why more than 4,000 businesses partner with us every month, whether they need one product or a full digital strategy. Visit cumulusdigital.com today because you're not average and your marketing results shouldn't be either. That's cumulusdigital.com.
Bob Clark here. Crystal Springs delivers delicious bottled water right to your home and office, too. The best part, Crystal Springs is local. They live here. They work here. They're probably your neighbors. Schedule your first delivery and get your first 3 bottles free. Go online, crystalspringsnewmexico.com.
Celebrate freedom all month long at Rich Ford's used car department. Get freedom from high prices, payments for 90 days with your good credit, and peace of mind with every vehicle safety certified by Rich Ford master technicians. They also come with a 100,000-mile or 2-year warranty, whichever comes first. And this selection is hot this 4th of July.
With a selection like this, we have something for everyone in the used car department. Searching for under $20K? How about a Ford Escape for $12,995? Here's a Chevy Cruze for $14,995. How about a Jeep Compass for $15,995? You can even take your pick from a Ford Taurus, a Focus, a Hyundai Elantra, or a Super Duty, all for $19,995. Didn't hear the one you want? Drive through our lot 24/7 and take a look at our selection. With hundreds to choose from, there's always something new to see.
Plus, instant financing, instant delivery, and no payments for 90 days with your good credit. Head to Rich Ford at the super corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. Online at rich-ford.com, and we're open Sunday.
Which Ford? Rich Ford.
You are listening to New Mexico's #1 radio station, News Radio KKOB, and catch The Vince Show every weekday at 10 a.m.
On August 4th, the New Mexico Museum of Natural Science and History is going to be on hiatus. But the museum, although it's closing for 7 months of renovations, doesn't mean that the rest of us can't get our museum fixed somehow. Museum Executive Director Dr. Anthony Fiorello is our guest. The research side of the museum is still going to be hard at work, right?
Absolutely. You know, there's several components that, and I'm glad that you brought up. The building is closed, but we are still open for business. And our scientists, for example, will still be out there exploring the natural world that we all live in, helping us understand more about the history of our state, New Mexico. Our educators will be out bringing, modifying programs and bringing them out to the local libraries and schools. And of course, our exhibits team is going to be busy working on when we reopen, what exhibits are going to be new, what exhibits are going to be coming online in the next year or so. So, yeah, all of the components of the museum are still at business.
Well, you've got museum educators that are going to be across you're hitting the road, shall we say. You're taking the show on the road, if you will.
Yes. And I do have to say, I have to give a huge shout out and acknowledgement to all of the help that we have received from the governor's office to the cabinet secretary to our neighbors, the Albuquerque Museum and Explora, as well as the city of Albuquerque. If you drive to the museum now, you'll see it's a little bit of an obstacle course to get in and around because there's so much going on. But we are all in communication, working together to bring the best possible community campus back to Albuquerque when it's all done. But to your point, we are bringing our education programs to, like I said, some local libraries. So check those schedules. We are also, the State Library of New Mexico has a banner exhibit program where rural libraries can obtain banners that are exhibits on certain subjects, and we have provided them some of our paleontology expertise. So some of our content will be able to go out to rural libraries. Probably the showiest thing is the Wonders on Wheels program. We have it's really a giant RV, which is going to be about the geologic history of New Mexico, that the content will meet 3rd and 4th grade curriculum standards for the schools, and it will travel around Albuquerque. and deliver programs on site to schools that are interested. So those are two prominent education programs that are going to be active. When our water comes back on for part of our building, after the initial 2 months of the project, we anticipate reopening our planetarium using a separate entrance. And so we'll be able to do some of the astronomy programs on site again.
Oh, that's
There's
good
a
to
lot
know.
going on.
Yeah, and in fact, we will get Mr. Jim Greenhouse in here to talk about that in a couple of months, to remind folks that they could go in and take part in some of the things that you have going there at the museum. I mean, and it's only 7 months. It'll go quickly, but I know a lot of folks, going to the museum, especially with their kids, as part of their monthly habit and that sort of thing. You're still extending membership services in free access for other places like Explora and that sort of thing.
That's correct. And that goes back to how much we really appreciate the support of our neighbors. They are there helping prop us up during this challenging time. And Explora and the Albuquerque Museum have both generously extended the offer to honor our membership to those organizations, to our present members, for the duration of while we're closed. And so, again, it's really a fabulous community effort to keep us afloat during this challenging time.
Well, not to put too much more pressure on you, Tony, but I think next year is 40 years, right? So you're going to be celebrating an anniversary right as you're reopening.
That's exactly right. If you're going to go through an event like this, you might as well be able to reopen on a significant historical milestone, which is our 40th anniversary. So, it's going to have a festival-like feel to it next spring when we reopen.
And there's so much to celebrate too. I mean, in the history of 4 decades of being around and really helping us to learn so much about our natural world. I mean, and the museum is maturing too, just like we are, right?
Well, certainly the building has.
Oh yeah.
We are the preeminent museum of the Southwest in terms of the natural history here. And so you're right, we have grown. We have a reputation that's globally known. And we look forward to, when we reopen, all of the visitation when people come back and see us wherever they live.
Well, I got to tell you, when our son brought his girlfriend here for the initial visit to the parents, meeting the parents, she came for Christmas a couple of years ago, and the first place she wanted to go was the Museum of Natural History and Science. I am not joking. Well, that's where she wanted to go.
That's certainly nice to hear. And where is she from, or was she from?
She lives in Missouri now. They both do, but she comes from North Carolina. So I'm not really sure how she heard about the museum, but she said, yes, I want to do that and experience some new biomes. And I said, we can accommodate both those requests.
Well, good. I'm glad that happened. And I'll also say the North Carolina Museum is certainly another great one to go visit if she hasn't.
Well, and that's where she grew up as a kid, and she might have some fond memories of that. And then as an adult, wanting to visit another museum. And I guess, isn't that what a good museum leaves you with? I mean, you can be introduced as a child, the seeds are planted, you flourish and you grow. And like I said, you mature right along with the museums.
Well, I will extend that story a little bit and give you a personal story about myself. My parents actually credit my grandmother with taking me when I was 4 or 5 years old on a city bus across town to go visit a natural history museum. And according to my parents, this is their quote, I never outgrew that day. So you never know what the influence of a natural history museum can have on a small child.
You certainly don't. And may we never outgrow our wonder of all of that. Museum Executive Director, Dr. Anthony Fiorello, it has been a delight talking with you. Good luck with the renovations, and I'm sure we'll be talking after you get done about the big celebration.
Well, thank you for your interest, and by all means, I welcome the conversation when we're back open to the public.
Coming up next, layoffs at Intel, the ripple effect in Rio Rancho. We're going to talk about that as the weekend continues here on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Hey, it's Brandon Vogt. Right to Bear Arms is loaded with ammo, so the Super Summer Sale is on now. 9mm Blazer brass ammo by the case is just $270. That's 1,000 rounds. Fort Scott 223 hunting ammo is available at near cost. Excess and aging handguns and rifles are at blowout prices. You got to see the discounts for yourself at Right to Bear Arms on the southeast corner of Wantabo and Montgomery, or at righttobeararmsnm.com. When you visit, it'll be your new favorite gun shop.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Isotopes fans, this Tuesday come hungry because the team is back in town and it's Dollar Dog Night at RGCU Field. Load up with ketchup, mustard, onions, or the works. Then join us Friday, August 1st for Stand Up to Cancer Night. We'll be giving out jumbo softy baseballs to the first 2,000 fans, courtesy of Vashi, Bias, and Inderman injury lawyers, plus post-game fireworks. Albuquerque Isotopes Baseball, the best family entertainment in town.
Celebrate Independence Day all month long at Rich Ford. It's Rich Ford's Freedom Sale. We give you freedom from high prices, freedom from high interest rates, and freedom from high payments. Plus, receive a complimentary 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan. Darren, this 4th of July, there is no better place to buy a new Ford.
At Rich Ford, we have more so you save more. Just in time for summer vacation, hit the road in a 2025 Ford Mustang for $31,995 or lease for $399 a month. For a little more, take home a 2025 Ford Explorer for $41,995 or lease for $459 a month. For off-road adventure, take home a full-size Bronco for $39,995 or lease for $469 a month. Take your pick from over 175 F-150s like this 2025 F-150 STX Crew Cab for $46,995 and get 0% for 48 months. For more details, call 800-917-6013.
Plus, instant financing, instant delivery, and with no payments for 90 days, we make financing easy. It's the Freedom Sale at Rich Ford at the corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. Rich Ford in Edgewood, rich-ford.com, and we're open Sunday.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply STOP to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text Law 33 to 32 32 32. Law 33 to 32 32 32. CordellCordell.com.
Attention Albuquerque businesses, the Hispano Chamber of Commerce presents our monthly networking event, Biz Gratis, on July 30th from 5. An event boost your business with free resources, networking opportunities, and collaboration. Whether you're a startup or an established company, join us for an evening of innovation and growth. Don't miss the golden opportunity to elevate your business. Mark your calendar for July 30th. Register now at ahcnm.org. The Hispano Chamber of Commerce. Join, connect, thrive.
TJ Trout here on Monday. Terry Schermeyer is back from the Great Southwestern Antique Show to do our radio version of the Antiques Roadshow. If you want something appraised, email me with a pic and a description. Show starts at 3 at 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Good morning. Terry and Jerry along with you. It is the weekend, 96.3 News Radio. KKOB, certainly good to have you along today. News that Intel would be laying off more than 200 people in Rio Rancho was welcome news in one way. Employees finally had an answer to the question, will it be my job that's cut? Well, for 3,000 or so employees still working at Intel, they know their jobs are safe for now. Meanwhile, 227 people will be looking for new employment in a tough job market, in particular for skilled technicians and managers, the very people who were laid off. Joining us to talk about the temperature in Rio Rancho after this announcement, the president and CEO of the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce, Jerry Shallow. Jerry, good to have you along this morning. It has been too long.
It has been. It's great to be here today.
So we're going to talk about other stuff too. I mean, I know there is a big back to school event coming up in Rio Rancho you guys are a part of, but wanted to talk with you about this news that we got this week about Intel. This does end speculation at the plant as to whether there would be any layoffs. I suspect this news didn't exactly surprise you though, Jerry.
No, it didn't surprise us at all. It's a matter of they have a new CEO at Intel who has different thoughts and ideas. And anytime you have a change in leadership, you're going to have some adjustments. And everything that we've gotten from them is it's all about efficiencies right now.
Yeah, and it is part of broader layoffs in the community. What I'm wondering is, how do layoffs like these affect our community?
Well, from our standpoint in Rio Rancho, any layoff is impactful. At the same time, these are very light layoffs. As a matter of fact, we have employers right now, we're working with Intel. We have employers that are ready to go to hire another 240, 250 employees. So it's just a matter of, are they a fit? And it's for high tech. So same thing. We have a number of employers that hopefully can pick up those employees. On the side of Rio Rancho, what it comes down to is it's a very small amount. From Intel's standpoint, they filed a WARN notice with the state. They really didn't have to. Mm-hmm. That was a courtesy item because it didn't qualify to hit a WARN notice. And on top of that, from the city's standpoint, we've grown so much. What we can't forget is there's AI and there's so much focus in on efficiencies. Intel is on a highly competitive environment. There's a huge factory opening in Phoenix right now that is with their chief competitor. So they're trying to be as efficient as possible so that they can move forward and grow. The other tidbit is this facility we have in Rio Rancho is different than all their other facilities. This is where the product gets produced make sure that it's ready for the user to use it.
And so because it is, does that shield our Intel from some of the cuts that may be coming? Because I know some of the folks at the plant are still sort of, is the other shoe going to drop? Are we going to see more layoffs?
From the standpoint of efficiencies, there may be.
Mm-hmm.
Things are moving very fast right now. With the AI, everyone's getting much more efficient. Heck, at the chamber, we're getting more efficient because of AI. From that standpoint, being the uniqueness of this facility here, they've spent their money. There is state investment. There is the CHIPS Act investment. They have really. Rio Rancho has played an integral role in restructuring so that when they make the chips in another city, they come out here and then they get prepped and then they're ready to go for use. So this facility here in Rio Rancho is much more integral than it was 5 years ago.
And these layoffs that we heard about in Rio Rancho at the Intel plant there, certainly not what they're seeing in Oregon, for example, out in Hillsboro. In fact, I've been talking to my brother quite a bit. He's a longshoreman. He was thinking about retiring this year, and now he's like, I don't know which way to go. But, when he's hearing about cuts like this, he's thinking this is indicative of this is the way he should go with the decisions he's going to make about retirement. I'm happy that it doesn't affect our community as much. I know too that Rio Rancho has, weathered more substantial cuts at Intel than we saw this week as well.
Yes, the 200 jobs lost, again, for each impacted employee and family member is a impact. At the same time, we're working with a number of employers and with Intel to get them filled. When it comes to Intel overall, yeah, as our fabs became outdated in the past, then what essentially happened is layoffs occurred and Intel became more efficient and you didn't need as many employees per floor. If you look at a picture of Intel going back to the fabs in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot more employees per floor than there are now because of the advancements. And that's what Intel's about. They're about making advancements, so they should be taking advantage of the advancements that they're leading the way with.
Exactly. So let's talk a little bit how you're attempting to help those folks who have found themselves out of a job. I mean, one of the things that is, the bonuses about working at Intel is the pay is very good, and there's a road for advancement and that sort of thing. The kinds of things that people want if they want to have that job that's going to take them on to retirement. What kinds of opportunities are available for folks with this high skill level?
Well, we have a number of opportunities. Let's go out of the city first. Los Alamos is still hiring at a significant rate.
Okay.
So Los Alamos needs to up staff. We come into Rio Rancho, for instance, we still have a number of positions available. I'll give you an example. Lectrosonics. Lectrosonics is an audio manufacturer. They are high tech. A lot of the employees at Intel are very similar in a lot of ways to what Lectrosonics has. And they just announced over the past few months after they were acquired by the Friedman Group that they were going to increase over 200 employees. So that's another exciting piece. So that's a great fit there. We have a number of other employers out here that work with the Defense Department that are looking for employees in a very similar effect as well. So we're working with all of them to help them get filled.
And I can't help but think if it says, former employee at Intel, that's got to hold some sway here in the state, that those employees are sought after.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When you have Intel in there, then particularly with what Intel does in the high tech environment, that translates really well, especially when you're talking about the technologies that are being put out by places like Lectrosonics, but also you have Los Alamos. Sandia did announce a 5% cuts, but that's not 5% cuts across the board. That is what Sandia has done in the past is they may cut one area because that contract's ended or whatever it might be, and then they're going to add for another one. So Intel employees fit all of these businesses and more so well.
Well, and one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is you are so in touch with not only the businesses in Rio Rancho, obviously, but also you have ties to businesses in other areas of the state. So I knew that you would have a big picture view of all of this. When you're talking to businesses in Rio Rancho, and I'm sure if there's been talk about this, about the layoffs and that sort of thing with people that you've run into this week. What has the discussion been like? Have you had to turn down anyone's temperature a bit? Was there some concern?
Well, absolutely. With the, having Intel here for so many years, over 40 years, and as the environment for computers has dramatically changed, folks have seen the layoffs. They've taken the early retirements in the past. With this most recent reiteration, they brought a number of folks that they retired early back. So, from that standpoint, when you look at Intel, as they get adjusted, as they get their feet planted in a different direction with a different CEO, there is a chance that they'll bring folks back. So it's always just calming the waters a little bit on this. again, it's 227 employees. It's not 2,000 employees.
Right.
So
and
that makes a big difference.
And when you look at it in the overall, how many folks work there at the Intel plant, it is what, I don't know, 7% or something like that. Which, I mean,
yes.
like you pointed out, rightly so at the beginning of the interview, these are folks who have families, who maybe had future plans, and those have been derailed a bit now because of the news that they just received. The other thing I wanted to back up and ask you about, I know about the WARN notice, and that, companies do have to let the state know at some level if they're having layoffs. But for just, general purposes, what is the WARN notice and what qualifies?
Well, generally with a WARN notice, it is a matter of when you have a certain amount of layoffs as a percentage of your employees' total count.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
This wasn't even 10%, didn't even come close to qualifying for a WARN notice. So from that standpoint, Intel was doing it more as a courtesy, because from the standpoint of when they did the huge expansion and they took idle fabs in Rio Rancho and they completely fixed them top to bottom. I mean, the work they did was amazing. But that being said, you have investment from the state, you have investment from the federal government, you have investment from the county and the city. So when you look at that, they just want to make sure that, hey, this is what's happening in our community. We just want you to be aware. The other side of it is they could have just gone out there and made their adjustments to staffing and just let the word of mouth go around, and folks would say, oh, Intel's laying off. So instead, they just came out and told you what they were doing, why, and here's what.
They could have let the chips fall, but they didn't. Pardon the bad pun.
Yes, per se.
But I mean, really, when this gets down to the relationship that Intel has with the city of Rio Rancho, with Sandoval County, with the rest of the state, and they want that relationship to continue to be a good one.
Absolutely. And, the other thing is we put a lot of effort. We have a program at the Chamber called Discover Sandoval. It's a website, discoversandoval.com. And we actually helped recruit a lot of positions from out of state to bring folks here. So when they were doing a mass hiring, Sandia Labs was doing mass hiring, Los Alamos was, all of these folks, we brought them out here. Now, the great thing is we have Discover Sandoval already in place. So this makes it much easier, and those relationships with the employers makes it much easier to help Intel move these folks around to a different employer and keep them right here in the community and keep their pay at a similar rate than it is right now.
And I think that's one of the biggest concerns. I know I know some folks who work at the plant. They're still working, but we had quite the chin wag over some iced tea this week. And she said, I have thought about it myself, because she's been there a long time. She said, where would I go? What would I do? And I said, well, you do have incredible skills because you've been there so long. And I felt like a little bit of a cheerleader, but when there's just a smidge of blood in the water, I know people start thinking about their own jobs and where they would go.
Absolutely. That's understandable. And when we were bringing folks from other parts of the country, they said, well, if I don't like XYZ employer, what are my other options? So we got to know the other employers very well, find out who overlapped, because that's key when you go into major markets. If you go into Phoenix or Dallas, they have overlap. So here in New Mexico, believe it or not, we do have a lot of overlap. So what I would tell you is, and tell all the Intel employees, if you're affected, reach out to the Rio Rancho Chamber, ask for me, and we're working on this diligently every day. And we're placing folks, and we're getting resumes out to the other employers. And the nice thing is what we're doing is we're bypassing those ATS systems that you put your resume in, gets analyzed by a computer. We're taking all of these straight to the HR department or straight to the department lead.
Well, see, his name is Jerry Shallow. He is the president and CEO of the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce. just call him directly. You can talk to him. Hey, Jerry, stick with us because when we return, I want to talk more about the chamber, what you're doing in the community. Not only that, but celebrating back to school Rio Rancho style as a City of Vision gets ready to elevate. And that's next as the weekend continues. 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Travel back in time with the time-traveling Top 40 with interviews featuring Billboard chart legends.
Graham Russell of Air Supply.
We had 8 top 5 records in a row, which is, at that point, had equaled the Beatles record.
The time-traveling Top 40 podcast with Brandon Vogt.
Chubby Checker.
Well, my relationship with Dick Clark started before I even went on American Bandstand.
Available anywhere you get your podcasts.
Do you actually read your financial statements, or do they get tossed in a drawer and forgotten about? You could be making a very expensive mistake by not taking the time to look at them. If you're paying high fees in your retirement portfolio, it could be costing you tens of thousands of dollars or more over your life. The difference an extra $100,000 could make in your retirement, Core Financial can help you uncover any hidden fees in your retirement accounts. Call today to schedule a time just to talk about your situation. 505-998-0575. That's 998-0575. When you're close to retirement, every dollar matters. Wouldn't you like to know where your money is going? Find out what kind of fees you're really paying. Here at Core Financial, we can help. Call 505-998-0575.
Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
Many styles, one standard, simply Amish. Transform your home with Albuquerque's finest locally owned furniture store. Get 20% off on custom and express pieces today. Corner of Paseo in Wyoming or online at simplyamishabq.com. Your dream space awaits.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
Once is bad enough. Don't let the insurance company hit you again with a lowball offer. Call an experienced attorney who knows how to fight and win. Call Lerner Road today. 505-444-4444.
Ready to go. Call 444-4444.
Carlos Uri Espinosa is the managing attorney, 2711 Carlisle Boulevard, Northeast Albuquerque.
Emerging fund managers and venture capital companies. Streamline your investment strategy with the state of New Mexico's SSBCI program. The SSBCI offers free expert support to help you access opportunities and drive small business growth. We'll help you navigate funding requirements, legal considerations, accounting, and more. Get started today at edd.newmexico.gov. That's edd.newmexico.gov. Station and the NBA.
Celebrate Rich Ford's Used Car Department. Get freedom from high prices, payments for 90 days with your good credit, and peace of mind with every vehicle.
Selection like this, we have something for everyone in the used car department. Searching for under 20K? How about a Ford Escape for $12,995? There's a Chevy Cruze for $14,995. How about a Compass for $15,995? You can even take your pick from a Ford Taurus, a Focus, a Hyundai Elantra, or a Super Duty, all for $19,995. You're the one you want, drive to our lot 24/7. Take a look at our selection. With hundreds to choose from, there's always something new to see. Plus,
Instant delivery and no payments for 90 days with your good credit. Rich Ford at the Super Corner of Horace and Miami Northeast. Online at rich-ford.com. We're open Sunday. Rich Ford, Rich Ford. You're awesome client too.
In that house, all alone.
It's not like her. She was always so outgoing.
Beehive Homes is not just the best in assisted living, but offers companionship and love from others going through the same struggles. There's no need to be alone. Beehive Homes makes it easy to join an intimate community of support. Schedule a tour at beehivehomesnm.com, where someone's always there to say, welcome home.
Average doesn't grow your business. Smart Strategy does. Cumulus digital campaigns outperform industry benchmarks by over 25%. You're not average, and your results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com today to leave average behind.
From Harris to Taos, this is 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
It's time to get back to it, kids. In Rio Rancho, they're making back to school memorable with a very special event that's coming up. President and CEO of the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce, Jerry Shallow, with us. And you guys had a bit of a hand in this, right?
We do. We've got a big plan for July 31st on Thursday. We're going to have a lot of fun getting everyone to jump back into school.
I mean, literally jump back into school. Where's it going to be held?
It's going to be at Elevate Trampoline Park on Thursday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And it'll be a lot of fun, a lot of food. And we have pizza, we have raffles, face painting, all kinds of fun things. And I'll tell you what makes this one really unique.
Okay.
Is we have an intern in our office, Mila. She is on student council at Rio Rancho, and she is at Rio Rancho DECA as well. And it is our youth that are putting this together, and Mila's leading the way.
Well, that would explain why you're having it at Elevate Trampoline Park, because a lot of these back to school events, I mean, not that it's, it's not a bad idea to hold them at a community center, but you add trampolines and things just get a lot more interesting.
Absolutely. It'll be a lot of fun. And I have to hand it to Elevate as well. This is the conclusion. This is the big party in the end. Elevate has been collecting items every Thursday for the whole month of July. So this party builds right into it. And we put it in place on the 31st. This weekend is no tax weekend.
Yeah.
So when folks are out there this weekend and you're buying things for your kids, whether it's colored pencils, markers, whatever it might be, just throw an extra one in your basket. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a little something. And then come out and visit us on Thursday from 3 to 6, and you'll be able to get out there and bounce for 2 hours for only $10. And you get pizza. So we'll have quite a party going on.
Well, and I also hear there's face painting as well, which sounds like
there is
fun.
Face painting, and Andrea's is awesome. They can do darn near anything.
Well, the other aspect I do like about this is the idea that you're donating something. So, your kids are going to be able to watch you pick up that extra pack of crayons or what have you and make that donation. And I think those are the kinds of seeds that are important to plant, that it's not just about us. There are other people in our community, and we all need to look out for one another.
Absolutely. It creates the opportunity to show that, hey, if I do something well and I give back, in a lot of cases, not only do I feel better about how I gave back, but then there's times like this where you get an opportunity for a reward. We're going to get to jump for 2 hours.
Well, yeah. And who doesn't want to burn off some energy? I mean, I know a lot of parents are like, please take the kids, let them jump around for a couple of hours.
Absolutely. So, these donations are going to St. Felix Food Pantry, who distributes them with us to all the Title I schools. These are the lower income schools. They help the kids out. And it's pretty amazing. So we're taking the school supplies, and we're also taking such things as new items such as socks. If, you find an awesome deal on a package of socks, that helps out as well. Because a lot of these kids, they don't have they don't have new socks or whatever it might be. So you might have a rainy day where the kids don't have any socks on; they just have their shoes on. So it really, when you see the impact of this program that St. Felix does every year, it's just amazing. And then the other thing that they do is we have a number of backpacks in there as well. And in addition to this, St. Felix does a backpack food program for kids that are on free lunch because they don't have any income. They want to make sure that kids are getting food over the weekends.
And we've got a minute or so left. I wanted to give us a little bit of time to talk about anything else that the Chamber's got coming up you wanted to let folks know about, because there's always a lot on your calendar.
There is. We have a number of things around in the corner. Of course, our golf tournament is this weekend, which is sold out. But the big one that we have, and it's a blast every year, is we have Oktoberfest, Saturday, September 20th. Yes, Oktoberfest is in September. That is the kickoff of Oktoberfest in September. in Germany. So yes, Oktoberfest is partly in September and it ends in the first week of October. So from that standpoint, come out and check it out. We have thousands of folks that attend. You get German food. We have the German music, the Umpa music. So it's a great time to come out, and it's family friendly. We have bouncies out there. We have all kinds of fun that's happening.
We'll get the lederhosen out and we will see you there. President and CEO of the Rio Rancho Chamber of Commerce, Jerry Shallow. Thank you for all you do in our community, Jerry. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You bet. Hey, coming up next, data brokers. They own you. Don't take my word for it. We've got backup information here. There is a way to break free, and we're going to talk about it next as the weekend rolls along here on 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Sure good to have you with us this morning. We appreciate you too.
Little cup eyes like us.
Hey. Let's celebrate the good old USA. Only at Casey Optical 2 for the entire month of July, we are giving the gifts to you. Get a free frame while supplies last from our exclusive King and Rose frame line when you purchase prescription lenses.
Look here. Look there.
You heard that, right? A free frame with the purchase of prescription lenses only at KC Optical 2. Stop by anytime to see the exclusive King and Rose frame line. Find us on the corner of Moon and Manal in Northeast Albuquerque.
Looking good.
You can't miss our 40-foot mural. For more information, visit KCOptical2.com. Happy 4th.
Looking good.
Eyes like us.
505-219-3113.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Precision Door, a name you can trust.
Hey, it's Steph from Magic 99.5. When you look at your garage door, do you like what you see, or does it make your home look bad? Precision Garage Doors can change that with a brand new door. You can even design your own to match your home style before you call them. Find the garage door designer at GarageDoorsAlbuquerque.com. Make the right decision. Call Precision.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Theft is killing businesses in Albuquerque. You don't have to be a victim. I'm Aaron Jones, owner of International Protective Service, IPS. My business provides armed standing guards 24/7, so the merchandise you brought in doesn't walk out without somebody paying for it. It's costing Albuquerque businesses millions, and it's time for it to stop. I'm committed to protecting your business from the constant barrage of bad actors who jeopardize your business and customers. IPS is assisting local authorities already stretched thin. Call 897-2420 or find us at ipsglobal.com.
It is the weekend, and we're starting off with lots of sunshine. Temperatures soaring well above average this afternoon. 94 in Albuquerque, 87 in Santa Fe. Then tonight, aside from a few passing clouds, it'll be quiet. 68 Albuquerque, 61 Santa Fe. Temperatures are expected to peak on Sunday as we wrap up the weekend. A few afternoon clouds, but still hot. 96 Albuquerque, 89 Santa Fe. I'm meteorologist Olga Breeze for KOAT7.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
So wake me up when it's all over.
Hell, we're all set for the weekend.
The weekend.
In for the weekend.
It's the weekend. Hooray.
Weekend.
Please welcome the weekend.
This is The Weekend with Terry Travis on 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
Good morning, Terry Travis, Jerry right along with you on the weekend. 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Oh boy. Okay, so what we would like to talk about is the fact that there are just so many ads now trying to scare you about your private data online. And it turns out we have reason to be concerned. And there is an alum from UNM that has a solution. Now, what I'm hoping is not only does he have a solution for our private data online, but also for why it is that when we give people the address to this place, they are given a very weird way to get here from Google. So our UNM alum, Zach Wickstrom, is out there walking the streets right now in downtown Albuquerque. You'll make it, Zach. I know you will. And we've had this happen a couple of different times. So I have no explanation for it. You know, technology mystifies and excites me too, which is one of the reasons that we wanted to have Zach on, because he came up with something that will hopefully help you to keep your personal data personal. And because he's the one who invented it, he's the best one to talk about it, not I. However, I do have a little bit of information, at least enough information to ask him some good questions. He invented something called Vault. And you might think of, Vault, like, you know, a security vault, if you will. He spells his Vault V-A-L-T. He'll explain why. But it does sort of the same thing. It keeps things safe for you. The data broker industry, data broker, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, it's definitely growing. Here's some fun facts for you. According to Global Newswire, the data broker industry was valued at $257 billion in 2023. And by 2032, just flip those two numbers, it's expected to reach $441 billion. So we're talking a lot. We're talking big. And the brokers own your personal data on, basically every person you can imagine with a digital footprint. That means me, you, probably your kids, maybe even your dog. I don't know. If you do that sort of thing with your dog, go online. So the personal information can include just, your basic contact information, financial information, whether you bought your kid a piano or something. I mean, they keep track of you. So the way that this evidently works is that it offers you a secure way to go online, a private network, if you will. And Jerry was explaining to me what a DVPN might be. I've heard of VPN, virtual private network. I hadn't heard of DVPN, which is a decentralized virtual private network. So this is something that Zach came up with. And what's fascinating is he's not a tech guy. He's not a techie guy. When he was at UNM, he was a music composer. That was his area of expertise. He plays a piano. And he said that, music and coding, composing music and coding is very similar, which I found that fascinating. Anyway, I think if you do see Zach walking the streets of downtown Albuquerque, please send him to 4th and Roma. And if you want to find out more about his device, what he's come up with, how to download the app that he has come up with, you can visit Vault's homepage, and Vault is VALT. So Google that. Don't Google our address because you'll get lost, but you can Google Vault and find out more. Coming up, the most dangerous place in New Mexico to be a pedestrian. We'll talk about that next as the weekend continues on 96.3 News Radio KKOB.
Are you still getting news from a shirtless guy on YouTube with a whiteboard wearing night vision goggles in a bunker? It might be time for a conspiracy cleanse. Stream News Radio KKOB instead. Real news, actual experts, and not a single mention of lizard people. Download the new KKOB app or just tell your smart speaker, stop playing whale sounds. Do something useful. Play News Radio KKOB. Less tinfoil, more truth, now with 100% fewer doomsday predictions.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text Law 33 to 32 32 32. Law 33 to 32 32 32. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, it's Brandon Vogt. Right to Bear Arms is loaded with ammo, so the Super Summer Sale is on now. 9mm Blazer brass ammo by the case is just $270. That's 1,000 rounds. Fort Scott 223 hunting ammo is available at near cost. Excess and aging handguns and rifles are at blowout prices. You got to see the discounts for yourself at Right to Bear Arms on the southeast corner of Wantabo and Montgomery, or at righttobeararmsnm.com. When you visit, it'll be your new favorite gun shop.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
I was in a wreck. I need a check.
After a wreck, don't try to take on the insurance companies alone. Make one call, that's all, to Lerner and Rowe. 505-444-4444. That's 444-4444.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. 444-44-44.
Celebrate Independence Day all month long at Rich Ford. It's Rich Ford's Freedom Sale. We give you freedom from high prices, freedom from high interest rates, and freedom from high payments. Plus, receive a complimentary 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance Advantage plan. Darren, this 4th of July, there is no better place to buy a new Ford.
At Rich Ford, we have more, so you save more. Like the 25 Ford Escape starting at $25,995 or lease for $399 a month with no money down. Or the 25 Ford Maverick starting at $26,995. Save on a Bronco Sport starting at $28,995, or you can lease for $359 a month with no money down. Or we have over 30 2025 Rangers starting at $33,995. Save up to $16,000 on vehicles that were slightly damaged during the recent summer hailstorms. For more details, call 800-917-6013.
Plus instant financing, instant delivery, and with no payments for 90 days, we make financing easy. It's the Freedom Sale at Rich Ford at the corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. Rich Ford in Edgewood, rich-ford.com, and we're open.
I'm only going a short distance. So for that, seat belts are too constraining, so I don't want to wear it. My pickup truck will protect me. Why do I need a seat belt?
It's a fact. Seatbelts save lives. Whether you're going to the corner store or traveling across the state, wear your seatbelt. Whenever you get into a vehicle, be a good example for your passengers and buckle up. Seatbelts are there to protect you and your passengers, so wear them. Remember, if you buckle up, they'll buckle up. Sponsored by NMDOT and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and this station.
This is New Mexico's #1 radio station, 96.3 News Radio KKOB. Depend on it.
I like it. That's kind of fun. You got headlines this week. Headlines and headphones. If we could find a pair of headphones for our guest,
That would be awesome.
He had requested them. Are there some right there? There's some on the windowsill back there. I don't know where to plug them in. And we just have Dan Mayfield come in and he just does his own all of his own setup and everything. Thanks, Dan. You're
Great. You can, Terry.
You're a very good sport, and you found your way here. But we happen to know it's because you live nearby. Can you hear things in the headphones?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
it's all
great.
good.
Awesome.
I can hear some. Is that the Sanford and Son theme in the background that your producer found for us?
That is what you
amazing.
requested. We like to have walk-up music for our guests.
I love it.
Yeah. Do you love Sanford and Son? Is that like a favorite show of yours
I
from
just
the
like
Wayback Machine?
I think I'm more a Quincy Jones fan. Who wrote the
That's
song.
what it is. And I forgot about the
I've
Quincy
always
Jones
thought if
thing.
I was a professional wrestler,
Mhm.
this would have to be the song I would come out to.
Wow.
How great would that be, right?
It would be great.
Either
It
this
is-
or Yakety Sax,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, both catchy tunes in different ways.
right?
Indeed. Dan Mayfield with the city. And in fact, before I am amiss because you have like a really long title. You're the aren't
Public Information Officer for the Department of Municipal Development, which means that like I take all the media calls on roads.
and that's what I have him under is roads. And then there's this big long title underneath his name. But yeah. And so all kidding aside, all joking aside, when I read the story that came out earlier, that our state once again has the highest rate of pedestrian deaths in the country. And sadly, a majority of those deaths are concentrated in one area, Albuquerque. I thought, I'm going to call Dan.
And because of that stat, we know about that stat, and it's been out there for a long time here in
Yeah.
Albuquerque.
Yeah.
In 2019, the city established what we call the Vision Zero program.
And remind folks about Vision Zero because it's one of those things that might slip through the
Yeah,
cracks.
it's one of those weird federal programs you forget about if you don't pay attention to this stuff every day like we do.
Mhm.
But it is a federal idea, and then local governments pick it up and run with it, depending on how their roads work. Basically, the idea is to stop all pedestrian deaths and bicycle deaths in Albuquerque by 2040.
And that is a lofty goal. And how are we doing with that, Dan?
Actually, we have it. We finally now are really rolling on this. I think a lot of people take Louisiana to get to the base, for example. If you're going from Central going south to the base, you'll see that Louisiana was reduced from 6 lanes to 4,
Mhm.
and we now have protected bike lanes on both sides, as well as some new mid-block crossings, what we call hawk crossings, and all of that stuff is added up to a very, very safe street. And then we can actually keep commute times the same by using new stoplight technology that keeps cars going. So we can make roads safer
and we can keep them going at the same speed. So people's commute times are about the same.
Well, let's break down everything you said in light of
Mhm.
there is a section of Albuquerque that sees a lot of these pedestrian deaths. And we are talking about that area right there along Central.
East from Louisiana,
Yeah.
all the way up to Wantabo. And I was
Mhm.
just showing Terry, for those who can't see into the studio here, I was showing Terry what
See
we
into the studio.
right. I was showing Terry what we call the high fin map. And it's the high fatal injury network map. And what that is it's our map that shows us where the most dangerous roads are. There's several roads where, it's okay to have a fast road as long as it's safe. We want all the roads to be safe, though.
Mhm.
Central is a unique proposition because it's literally like a national highway that was turned into a road in Albuquerque. So it comes with a bunch of unique things to it. It's very, very broad, and it really could be like an 8-lane road if we wanted it to be. And because of that, there's been a lot of things through the years that have made it dangerous for pedestrians because it was designed as a highway.
Mhm.
And so we finally got the funding together, and we designed a very cool road project with the neighborhood out there, and a lot of our neighborhood partners. And Central from Louisiana all the way up to Wantabo is going to go to 4 lanes, but they're going to be the 4 inner lanes. And the 2 outer lanes are going to be what we call bat lanes. And we started construction on this just last week, which is kind of amazing. So if you see construction on Central, watch out for our guys working out there.
Please watch out.
They are restriping the road. And the bat lanes are business and access transit lanes. So they're bus lanes.
Mhm.
But what that does is it gives pedestrians an extra couple of seconds before they see a car, right? And it gives the cars that whole 8-foot, 10-foot lane there to see a pedestrian in the road before they start crossing. Today, if a pedestrian tries to step off the curb, they're just in traffic, right away in traffic. So with these new bat lanes, we think it'll give cars an extra couple of seconds to see pedestrians. But then we're doing a whole lot more in that area too. At night, where we see many of those crashes happen, we are now going to be adding about 198 to be exact streetlights, but they're solar streetlights, and they're decorative, kind of very cool streetlights all the way from Louisiana to Wantabo. And then we're also adding what we call mid-block crossings.
That was one of the things that I know that is one of the definite problem issues.
Yes.
In particular on Central, because the blocks are so long. For
Right.
one thing.
Yeah, if you look down Central and you're in Wyoming and you want to cross, you want to go to Wyoming, you got to walk a mile to the next intersection.
Yeah.
And I don't blame anybody for trying to play Frogger and run across the street. It looks like it's forever to go all the way up the hill there to cross the street.
But playing Frogger is what got us to #1 in pedestrian deaths.
So
I
that's
mean,
why we're
partially.
partially. So that's why we are adding these mid-block crossings, and they're going to be areas. We're putting one at Britt and one at Summer, and they are these Hawk signals, and they're those red lights that you see, and make it way safer, way easier for pedestrians to be able to cross. And they should be installed really by the end of this year. And then we're also adding refuge islands, is what we call them. So if you look in front of the International District Library there on Central, there's like a little island, a little concrete island. So that way, when you're running across 4 lanes of traffic, it gives you a chance to take a break. You don't have to run across 8 lanes of traffic, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the mid-block crossings will help. And then between that and then some new technology that we call leading pedestrian indicators. This is getting into nerdy traffic engineering stuff.
Ooh,
but I
and
love it.
his eyes are lighting up as he says that. So, traffic nerd, go for it.
Right. So if you're a pedestrian, you want to cross,
Mhm.
it's always terrible when you hit the button, your light turns green, everybody's light turns green, and you start walking, but a car's still making a left-hand turn in front of you, and you gotta
Yeah.
wait for, and it's just terrible. So what an LPI does is it gives it an extra 2 seconds for the intersection to clear. So that yellow light runner really clears the intersection before the pedestrians are given the walk signal. And we identified that as one of the problems is people were walking and they totally in the right, they were given the walk signal, but there's somebody pushing that yellow or pushing that red,
Mhm.
and they end up hitting pedestrians that way.
Absolutely.
So give them an extra couple of seconds before they're given the all clear. And it's one of the best practices that we're implementing all over East Central. It's going to be a great project. We're doing it. We started it last week. About 6 months of construction out there. It's really not construction as much as it is restriping and then adding some things like those mid-block crossings.
So in adding the mid-block crossings, what is going to be the indicator for drivers that there is something happening there and they need to stop?
You will see flashing yellow lights.
Okay.
They will be there, flashing red lights in the case of the Hawk signals. So cars will know. And then we also have what we call the pause. It's very cool. This is something our traffic engineering team and those genius engineers over there came up with. I think a lot of people have been familiar with wildlife signs that go off when a deer crosses the street, especially those that go up 550 like to Cuba. There's one out there. So those, believe it or not, are AI powered. And they look for, because they can tell the difference between a tree and a deer or a dog and a deer. And
well, at least AI can do that.
Right. And so we trained one of those cameras to look for pedestrians, but not just pedestrians going east and west on Central, those that are going north and south to cross the street. So if people are just walking along the sidewalk, the sign doesn't do anything. It's just sitting there. But if somebody turns to walk across the street, say to go to the ART bus station or something right there, light will go off and let cars know that there's a pedestrian crossing. And it's a pretty ingenious way to let cars know that pedestrians are there. So we're throwing everything we can at the problem, because Central Albuquerque is actually a very, very, very safe city to walk in and bicycle in. We just have a couple of stretches of road that are kind of outside of the norm, and it's because they are these legacy highway parts that were just left in Albuquerque. We love having Route 66, but it was a highway, and you can't build a city around a highway and have it be as safe as a regular road that we designed as a regular road.
And these, I can speak from personal experience, not so much living next to a really, well, it was kind of a busy road, but a neighborhood that I lived in Portland, there were a number of fatalities. I mean, it was sad how many fatalities there were. Part of it came from after there was a road diet and all of the roads were shrunk down and people got very frustrated. So they weren't paying attention, which I know is not necessarily in your purview to make people pay attention, but it's important. But once they finally started to get the hang of those mid-block sorts of crossings, things got safer.
Right. And that's exactly what we're expecting to happen on Central. We actually think this project will save lives out on Central.
Hoping that is the case.
It should be really good. Yeah. And we've had several other Vision Zero projects all around Albuquerque that we think are really saving lives.
I mean, I commend the city on how many bike lanes there are and ways to get around. I can come from Rio Rancho to here, and I really, if I jog a little bit in Rio Rancho, I really don't need to even get on a real street.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I figured it out, and I don't think I'm alone in that.
No. And, speaking of bike lanes, we were named a silver level bicycle city this year, and which is great. We love that. And, bicycles take cars off the road. They reduce the overall congestion all over the city. They're fun. Bikes are great. And of course you can throw your bike on the bus and ride for free now. It's amazing.
Unless you have a really heavy bike, and then I'm not throwing it anywhere.
Yeah,
I can say
actually, I just found out the other day that the e-bikes, you can put some of the smaller e-bikes on the buses, which is pretty cool.
Well, that would make sense, because really, I mean, when you think about it, I'm not quite sure exactly what the setup is on the buses here, but I know on buses in other cities I've been in, it's mostly just, the tire size is sort of what will limit you as to whether you can have your bike on the bus.
I have this awesome cruiser downtown, my bar bike, I call it, and it's a great old school looking bicycle with these big fat 4-inch wide tires.
Right.
And it doesn't, and ask me how I know it doesn't fit in the bus.
Because your tires are too wide.
Right. So I have to put my mountain bike on there.
Yeah. Your tires need to go on a road diet.
That's very true.
I know as we're talking about this, and a lot of people are maybe listening saying, oh, there she goes again. She's such a Pollyanna. She thinks everything is great. And you know what? I do think things are pretty great here. I like living here. I don't, I don't bitch a lot about things other than, how fast people go through those yellow lights and that turn into red lights at intersections, I always give myself 2 seconds because I know people run the lights around here. But I mean, folks are probably listening to this conversation and they're saying, yeah, Terry, well, what about, Central and Sammy, right there where everybody, there are drunks falling in the road. And you know what I'm talking about. How do you talk with folks in our community about that particular problem? Because we can't go out and keep everybody sober who's crossing a street.
Right. We've done so much for the people that need the help. ACS is amazing. They've been able to take about, I think it's 800 calls a month away from APD, just to help people who are having a hard time, people who are struggling on the streets.
ACS, please tell people what that
Albuquerque
alphabet
Community
is.
Safety.
Thank you.
They are another branch of our community safety departments. We have APD for emergency calls, AFR for emergency calls. And then there's oftentimes, not every call requires a gun and a badge, right? A lot of times it's just somebody having a hard time who needs to be taken somewhere or needs a special kind of help that an officer simply can't provide.
But somebody who knows where the resources are.
Yeah, and somebody who cops, their only resources take you jail or take you to take you to a hospital, take you to jail.
Well, and that's their training. You can't fault them for that.
Right. It's also the law.
Oh, there's that.
And so ACS folks have other opportunities. They can take you to other places and get you to the help you need. And then now we have a network with our gateway centers that has expanded beyond that. So we have our West Side Shelter, the new gateway center there in Gibson is now serving people. We have, I believe it's 1,500 beds now every night. And we're trying to let people know that those services are now available in the city. This is something that's never happened before.
Yeah.
And it's a big deal. And I want more people to realize that we are actually building beds. We are building facilities. We are staffing them. We actually now have the treatment in some cases that people can get at the gateway. The sobering center is open now. It's pretty amazing. And so we're addressing all of the issues in Albuquerque in one kind of holistic big thing. Unfortunately, it takes quite a while to do all of that.
Yeah, holistic big things usually do.
Yes. But that's about the only way to do it. You can't solve all the problems with one thing. You have to solve them in multiple ways at the same time.
One of the things I'm curious about, and earlier in the interview, you mentioned this, that Vision Zero is a federal program.
It's a federal idea.
Yes. So not
And
necessarily
we take their-
federally funded.
Right. We take there's some federal funding, but it's not a whole lot.
Okay,
We take
good.
we take all their ideas and implement them here in Albuquerque. One of those ideas was the speed cameras. Those are a Vision Zero program. So we now have 20 speed cameras all over Albuquerque. And I can't tell you the number of calls I get for people saying they want a speed camera in their neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
And
In fact, my husband regularly calls Rio Rancho police and says, can you bring the van by?
Yeah, we get it all the time too.
Yeah.
And so by the end of this year, we actually just signed a new agreement with a new vendor at the city. We don't own those cameras. And they're going to be putting more of them up by the end of the year. So we don't put them up just because like one guy says there's fast cars in my neighborhood. We actually have a data-driven approach towards this. And we look at the high fin map again, that dangerous streets map. And we target the worst first. So we don't even look at speeds. We look at the dangerousness of the road. So there are places like people say cars are going too fast on Tramway, but it's actually a very safe road. Tramways actually, there's very few crashes there. It's a totally fine designed road. It's broad, it's wide, the sight lines are good. Everything about Tramway works. But then you have a place like West Central near like the biopark where cars try and speed through there. And it doesn't work. It's not a good road for cars going fast. So we have speed cameras there now that we call them high producing speed cameras, but they send out a lot of tickets from the cameras by the biopark. So, we look at those roads that are dangerous first. We'd rather it's okay if people go fast. It's not okay if people crash.
Right. Or go, I don't know, 80 on Paseo del Norte.
Right. We have speed cameras there too. And that's one of those areas that we were noticing that there were crashes. So if you're speeding through there, Terry, like check your mail for a speed camera ticket.
No, in fact, my husband won't even go on that road. I will because I'm brave and I lived in New York City. But he won't go on that road. He won't drive that road because he says it's too dangerous. Yeah, I know.
Well, we're actually making it safer with those speed cameras. Maybe now he should give it another chance now that traffic has slowed down a little bit through there.
As long as I have you here and you're such a good-natured fella, I'm going to put a question to you that I've put to many people who live here. Why is it that people are so nice in New Mexico? I love people here. And then a certain percentage of them, when we get behind the wheel, turn into you know what?
I wish
What is that?
I wish I knew. I think, I've driven other places and I've actually come across a lot more road rage in other places than I have here in Albuquerque. I think that they're actually, for all of the traffic nerds out there, there's an NHTSA study that actually looks at all this stuff.
Oh, really?
And it's fascinating things. Like, if you want to nerd out, find the study online. It's stuff like, if you have more bumper stickers, it means you're more territorial in your car. And it means that you feel like the road belongs to you.
Interesting.
And people, the more bumper stickers you have on your car, the more likely you are to be in a crash. Wow. For example. And there are examples in this study that show that people who buy the biggest, giantest, hugest SUVs, like, big, like Ford Expedition kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah. I used to have one of those, but I had a lot of kids that I had to stick in the back.
Right.
So,
but people who buy those and they're the single driver, they often feel safe because they're protected.
Mm-hmm.
And they forget that other cars are not 6 tons. So they end up causing more crashes because they're in giant trucks because they feel safe. They feel like they can do anything on the road. And it's a fascinating studies. And so I don't know, part of that, in Albuquerque, who knows, but you can parse out all the data you want and find it online. But the NHTSA does some really fascinating work.
I'm going to have to go geek out there. Because it really sounds like it would be weirdly fun.
Yeah, they ask police officers all over the country, when there are crashes, how they just say, well, how many bumper stickers were on the car? What was this like? What was the car like? And political bumper stickers often cause other issues. And
yes, they do.
And
that's why I don't put politics on my bumper. I have one bumper sticker on my car, and it's a number that you can turn in road rage drivers.
Love it. I love it.
That's the only one I want on my car. Dan, it has been a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. And you jumped on the air with us early, and we still had plenty to talk about.
Awesome.
Dan Mayfield, he is with the city of Albuquerque. What's your title again?
Public Information Officer for the Department of Municipal Development. So I'm the guy that just talks to you about roads and buildings.
And stuff like that.
Yes.
And potholes,
yes. If you see a pothole, call 311. We are not telepathic, so we don't know where they are. So call 311 and let us know if you see a pothole or if your road needs any, if you get those big cracks, we can do crack sealing. But we're not telepathic at the city, so call us and let us know that those things are out there, and our guys will do it. We fixed 14,000 potholes last year. We have 3 crews of 2 guys each, running 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. 5 days a week, fixing potholes.
I don't know that you're not, telepathic. There was like you're doing road work on Montano. There was a little bit of a divot road thing there that, of course, yours truly.
We just repaved.
I know, it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But yet there was the one place on there that you were still working on it, and you guys fixed it already. So I didn't even have to call.
Woohoo.
I know. Dan Mayfield, thank you. We appreciate you. Coming up next, out with your dog. Don't forget this one piece of hardware. We'll talk about it as the weekend continues. 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back?
back. If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code COIN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code COIN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Quarters, just 25 cents. That's hardly anything, right? Hi, this is Phil Gordley at Core Financial. We see quarters a little bit differently. We know a quarter is a lot when it's a quarter of your retirement savings. Do you want to pay 25% or more in taxes during your retirement? Here at Core Financial, we help people create a plan to help address taxes in retirement. If the only time you think about taxes is when you file them, you don't have a tax strategy. But it's not too late to get one. Act now to make sure you're not paying a quarter, a dime, or even a penny more than you should. Call me, Phil Gordley at Core Financial, 505-998-0575. We'll schedule a personalized strategy session. A quarter saved is a quarter earned. Call 505-998-0575. That's 998-0575.
Firm cannot give tax advice. Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor.
There's gotta be another option.
You've been looking for assisted living for your mom for weeks.
I've seen the exercise rooms and cafeterias. Mom doesn't need all that. She just needs to be safe and get some personal attention.
That's Haven Care. Haven Care has 6 residential homes in quiet neighborhoods, beautifully renovated for seniors struggling with memory loss. There's just 6 residents per home with longtime caregivers who become like family. Schedule a tour at havencarenm.com. Haven Care. No frills, just tender, compassionate care.
Car Crafters was once again voted best of the city.
Another year? How does Car Crafters do it?
Commitment to delivering the safest repairs.
So training, equipment, certifications?
Exactly. Car Crafters passes strict guidelines each year to stay certified by the major auto manufacturers.
So they can make your car?
Like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Thank you for voting Car Crafters best of the city.
Average doesn't grow your business. Smart strategy does. At Cumulus Digital, our campaigns outperform industry benchmarks by more than 25% because we go beyond clicks and impressions, showing you exactly who saw your ad by name and address. We build solutions that fit more than 4,000 businesses that partner with us every month. Let's build one for you. You're not average, and your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com today.
New leather has arrived at New Mexico Fabrics and Foam on First Street between Mountain and Lomas. Their expert staff can help you find the right leather for your furniture, car, or RV. But at these prices, this one-time sale won't last long. And never forget, New Mexico Fabrics and Foam is the place to get cushions cut to size so you can sit on your furniture, not sink into it. When you order, your new cushions will be ready the next day. Call 265-1524. New Mexico Fabrics and Foam, a state treasure for 40 years.
TJ Trout here on Monday. Terry Schermeyer is back from the Great Southwestern Antique Show to do our radio version of the Antiques Roadshow. If you want something appraised, email me with a pic and a description. Show starts at 3 at 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
So say you're out with your pooch. What fashion accessory is necessary to keep them safe and styling? Well, a reminder for you, don't leave your leash at home. Lieutenant Alan Hargis of Animal Protection Services Division of the Albuquerque Animal Welfare Department joining us this morning. Lieutenant, so good to have you along again. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, Travis. Or Terry, I'm sorry. Appreciate you having me on.
You know, a lot of people actually call me Travis until I start talking, and then they're like, why did her mom name her Travis? What a weird name for a girl. Anyway, we're going to talk about pet leashing, and it is really important, and it is not something that's always done, unfortunately, in the metro area. Let's talk about why leashing up your pet is so important.
Well, you know, we want you, your pet, and other pets and other people to be safe. You know, by keeping your pet on a leash, that's going to prevent your dog from possibly running out into traffic, your dog running up to somebody and scaring them, or forbid, you know, possibly biting somebody, or your possible animal aggressive dog running up to another dog and getting into a little tussle.
And this one, that's for you, Gizmo, at home. I know you're listening. Yeah, my Chihuahua definitely needs a leash. He looks so nice until you get up close, and then he just gets kind of freaked out. My other dog, not necessarily the case, but I mean, you don't necessarily always know how your dog is going to react. Another reason to have them on that leash.
Exactly. You know, I have dogs at home myself. You know, they're the most loving animals in the world, but, you know, I take a couple of them out in the public and just certain things could set off an animal. It could be the color of your shoes, could be the shirt you're wearing. You just never know.
You really don't. And besides all that, it's the law to have your dog on a leash. We should mention that too, right?
Yes. The ordinance does state your animal has to be on a leash, no longer than 8 feet long, and in control of a person who is able to handle the animal.
So does that cover those retractable leashes? Because those just, I mean, I finally gave up even trying to use them because I think I'm just too klutzy and clumsy. But it seems to me like you could really get into a significant problem there using one of those retractable leashes if they're not working right.
That is correct. They are legal, but again, they can be extended no longer than 8 feet. But I have a personal issue with them. You know, they can break. You know, your dog could be stronger than the spring on the retractable leash itself and could pull itself out longer than 8 feet.
I've gotten a rope burn from the retractable leash. That's
I'm sure.
That's my issue with them. My dogs are fast. They're just fast. Well, I mean, and you want to have the best leash you can matched up with your dog. So you don't want maybe one of those retractable leashes that doesn't have a lot of strength. And then you've got, you know, this 100-pound dog on the other end of it. That's a bad combination.
Yeah, you definitely want to match your leash with your animal. You know, you don't want to have a piece of shoestring tied to your 120-pound Rottweiler.
No, you definitely don't. That's another, that could be a problem. So is there a fine if you don't have your pet on a leash? We can, you know, use carrot and stick approach.
That we can. You can be charged criminally, which the penalties can range from a $500 fine, 90 days in jail, for every citation that you receive, or we have implemented a new system where we can fine people for having violations. The first time we cite you can be a $200 fine. The second offense could be a $300 fine, and the third offense is a $500 fine.
Ouch. It's just easier to use a leash.
Much easier.
I mean, but there are places you can go where you can go off leash, let your dog play, maybe with other dogs.
Yeah, we have all kinds of dog parks located throughout the city. Albuquerque is a very pet-friendly city. You can look up those dog parks, off-leash dog parks, on the Parks and Rec website through the city.
That's a great idea too. And that's another place where you can pretty much figure that there's going to be a fence around it, that you're going to be safe there with your dog off leash, that there's not going to be any danger of them running out into the street.
Yes, that is correct. Maybe your pup will make a new friend in the dog park.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I've made a couple of new friends at the dog park too. That's another, I guess, side benefit of going to the dog park. You can talk with other dog owners and then just sit back and giggle at them playing.
Yes. Great place to enjoy your morning coffee.
It really is. So as long as we have you on the line, is there anything else you'd like to remind pet owners about?
Yeah, you know, we always want you to keep your dog on a leash. Make sure that you do have them spay and neutered, up to date with their shots. And if you have any other questions about our ordinances, you can always look those up online at cbq.gov/pets.
Oh, and it's all right there.
It's all right there. Yes, ma'am.
I like that. Alan, anything else important to pass along to folks?
Yeah, we are still always looking for our dog houses. So if anybody has a new or gently used dog house, you can contact the city or myself, and we will be glad to come out and pick those up from you so we can pass them on to people who are in need of a dog house who might be in a situation where they can't really afford one right now.
Yeah. And I mean, it's summertime, wintertime. If you've got an outside dog, it's always nice for them to have a place to go.
That is correct. Yes. And again, that is the law. They have to have adequate shelter.
Exactly. Lieutenant Alan Hargis, we sure appreciate your time. Thanks so much for the reminder about leashing up if we go out.
Yes. Thank you, Terry. We really appreciate it.
Lieutenant Alan Hargis, he is with Animal Protection Services Division, Albuquerque Animal Welfare Department. They do good work. If you've got a dog house that you think needs a new home, perhaps your dog has moved on across the Rainbow Bridge, and you can make sure that dog house gets a good home. And so you can give them a call there at the Animal Welfare Department. They'll make sure that dog house is well used. Coming up, we put a bow on that box of chocolates next as the weekend continues on 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Tired of Googling your symptoms? Now you can talk to a real doctor live. Presbyterian Healthcare Services and News Radio KKOB present The Doctor Is In with Dr. Greg Shore, starting Saturday, June 14th at 1 p.m. He's sharp, he's local, and yes, he's taking your calls. Join Dr. Shore alongside leading physicians from across New Mexico. Straight talk, real doctors, expert answers with Dr. Greg Shore.
Greg is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm not an actor. I'm just a regular person. 8 years ago, I just didn't feel like I was on my game. I started taking Prevagen, and I want people to know that Prevagen has worked for me. Give it a try. I want it to help you just like it has helped me.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
If you are 50 or older, it is recommended that you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can disrupt your life for weeks. If you're an adult 19 to 49 with certain underlying medical conditions like asthma, diabetes, chronic heart disease, or COPD, vaccination is also recommended. Talk to your doctor about vaccination today and learn more at lung.org/protectyourself. Furnished by the American Lung Association in collaboration with Pfizer.
If you own a business, shopping at a big box national store is fine for supplies, paper, pencils, Kleenex, but not your office technology. Your copiers, printers, and IT are a crucial piece of your business. Locally owned DocTech has a full site of office technology tools. Find out more at doctech.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply, stop to opt out.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country. When you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
Connect with a local divorce attorney today. Text Law 33 to 32 32 32. Law 33 to 32 32 32. CordellCordell.com.
There's a new way to find a car. Good news, it's not that far. The Budget Car Collection. The right car, the right time. And the right price. BudgetCarCollection.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Thank you for making Total Wine & More America's #1 online source for spirits, beer, and wine. Better than all those delivery apps. Total Wine's prices are up to 30% lower with super fast delivery and no hidden fees. Order direct at TotalWine.com and pay less today.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the whoops. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Do you hear that?
Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
You are listening to New Mexico's #1 radio station, News Radio KK, and catch the Vince Show every at 10 a.m.
You know what? I don't think I realized this was Boots Randolph. I mean, I knew the song, but I didn't really put it together that this is Boots Randolph. And I even told you, I grew up, I mean, my parents had a couple of Boots albums. Yeah, which I know makes me sound like I probably grew up in some strange household. But we like saxophone music at our house. I know, let's blame Dan Mayfield. It's all his fault. He's the one that suggested this is walk-up music. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you. There was so much stuff going on this week. This might have slipped under the radar. So I wanted to make sure that chocolate lovers are well aware and informed. It is okay to go ahead and you can go ahead and just get all the chocolate you want and maybe stick it in a safe room somewhere. Cool, dark room. Hershey is raising candy prices. Yes. I know. Except for, the things that, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rising cocoa costs. That's what they are chalking it up to. They say it is a low digit increase and it affects products across its confection portfolio. How delicious and sad. The price change is not because of tariffs or trade policies. That's nice. I mean, does that make you feel better? Your chocolate is still going up. Go ahead and hoard it. And then it's going to get more expensive for all of us. I guess I shouldn't suggest people hoard their chocolate. Share it with me. I'm a trusted person. Yeah. Well, oh, yeah. So you're not going to escape the price hikes then, huh? Serving size? What is this serving size you mentioned? Isn't a package a serving? I'm sorry. That's what I believe. Those plastic containers of them, yeah. Cocoa prices evidently have surged in recent years due to a global cocoa shortage. Yeah. I guess there's unfavorable weather conditions in places where they grow those cocoa beans. We've had some weather issues. There's also diseases like, I don't even think I want to know this in connection to chocolate. There's something called black pod rot. No, that just sounds disgusting, doesn't it? It's like first thing in the morning, you're looking at that coffee pod going, did I use this or not? Yeah, that's it. Also, chronic underinvestment in cocoa farms. Nobody's investing in and trust me, I think chocolate is a growth area. I don't know. The Hershey Company plans to focus on products that are less cocoa intensive. Oh, do tell. Is there anything you make that isn't cocoa intensive? I guess they want to expand into other categories like sweets and better for you and salty snacks. Better for you snacks. Yeah, I've heard that before. Anyway, go ahead and hoard your chocolate. And if you have a hoard you want to get rid of, what's our address here? No, we better not give it to them. People get lost coming here. Don't Google it. I don't know why. We'll get to the bottom of it, I'm sure. Anyway, Terry and Jerry wrapping up our Saturday edition. Believe it or not, they let us do this every Sunday as well. I know. So we're hoping that you'll tune in. Join. Yeah, that's right. We'd come in here and do this anyway. No matter what, we're having fun here on the weekend with Terry and Jerry. Join us tomorrow. 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.
Quiet down. Where she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money.